This is TWiT.
This is a rumor. It's not for sure, number one. It was from Windows Central, and they said they hear Android apps are coming at some point to the Microsoft Store. So last week we were speculating how and why Microsoft might do this, because it's not a definite that they're doing it. But then this week,
is as opposed to your phone. This is
Right.
actually running kind of like
running on the
Android apps run a Chromebook or iOS apps run on a MacBook, that kind of thing.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. But then this week, Ars Technica did this story, which it makes it look definitive, but it's actually also speculative, that said maybe the way they're doing this and why they're doing this is Windows Subsystem for Linux might get Android support.
Oh, no.
I know. I'm like, no, I don't think that matches this
I think that's based on the fact that WSL came out of the work they had done previously with Project Astoria to bring Android apps to Windows.
When I read that article, because even though I wasn't going to be here, I still, believe it or not, read the
prep
text
for the show. No, I appreciate that. I put in the work. It's good.
They described latte as the translation layer. And I said, oh, yeah, I remember that from Mary Jo Foley talking about latte. Right?
Latte.
Or is that a false memory?
I'm trying to think what latte is.
Latte is
that's
code
the translation
Android
layer,
thing.
right? Yeah. So like Catalyst is what Apple uses to put iOS apps.
Yeah, but why?
Okay.
So, look,
you don't remember talking about latte? Was that just a fever dream I had?
So there was Project Astoria that we had, right?
Yeah.
That
that
let
was
you
the
run
previous
Android apps on Windows.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe I was confusing with that.
I know people who worked on this. I know that this team was scattered to the winds.
Yep.
I know that all of them are gone and they're different parts of Microsoft. They stopped working on this. There's no like core part of the team. It's not like, so if they're doing something now, this is a new effort. And we know that one of the reasons it was canceled is it worked too well.
Yeah.
Because at the time, Microsoft really wanted developers to make universal Windows apps.
Yeah. Yep.
And they're like, if we just let Android apps run on this thing, why would anyone make apps for Windows?
Yeah. So the part
why
of
now?
the Ars,
like, why are they going to do it now?
And the part of the Ars story, I was like, wait, this doesn't all make sense to me, was if it is a thing that they're doing through WSL, like why would you put store apps? Why would you put Android apps in the store?
Here's what I think.
Microsoft Store.
I think it's not that it's using WSL, but it is like WSL. Remember, Android is Linux.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's not. But
right.
What if they did a WSL-like layer for Android? So
in other words, it's the Android subsystem for Windows is what they'll call it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it allows the running of Android apps. Now, like how you acquire those, I guess the reason you put them in the store is because to get what are you going to do? Put the Google Play Store in the store, and then wouldn't you have to pay Google for that? I think.
Yeah.
Microsoft would, right? You can't just put Google Play Store anywhere like that. They have their own security and all the stuff they do. So
that's an interesting, because that's how Chromebooks do it.
Yeah, but it's the same. They own the operating system, so it's fine.
That's actually an interesting conundrum.
Yeah, but
because most Android apps,
the details of it or whatever, but I just don't. Leo, as Leo just said, the experience of running. You would think of all the stuff that's going on with the M1, the most seamless part of it would be running iOS or iPad OS apps natively, because it's the same chip. It should work fine. But there is an awkwardness to it. And if you've ever used Android apps on Chromebook, there's an awkwardness to it. Even though Chromebooks can support touch and all that stuff. I mean, there's, all these things are designed just to run as a little window, like a little phone window. And, it's weird. And you run into a problem we're going to have on Windows when Android apps come, if they do, which is you're going to have multiple versions of the same apps. We already live in a world where you could have Microsoft Word installed in your computer, but you click on a link from the Office app, and it launches in a web browser, and it goes to the web version of Word. So now you're going to have a third version of Word. We get the Android version too. I mean,
I know.
This becomes a confusion at some point.
It does. Yeah. So we were thinking maybe the way. Well, at least I was thinking this. One might think if they somehow merge the Your Phone functionality right into the operating system, maybe you could do something like manipulate and use your Android apps from your phone right on Windows.
That's a lot easier to do it that way.
But then, why do you put the apps in the store just to say they're
that
there?
doesn't make sense. Well, so here's the problem. Android apps are heavily dependent on Google services.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't put the Google services on Windows without the Google Play Store.
Right.
So,
which that you have to pay for, not you individually.
Microsoft has
to pay for.
Yeah.
I don't, unless Microsoft and Google are doing something together, this is a non-starter.
That's the question, right?
This has to be.
Has their experience with Chrome and Edge gone so well that now they're taking the next step and we're going to bring the entire Google Play ecosystem to Windows 10?
Well, and here's the other question.
Hard time imagining this.
So you asked the question, why do this? Are there apps on Android that you wish you had on Windows 10?
Look, everyone who wants this will say yes to that question. My answer to that is no, not really.
What about the Kindle app?
There will always be apps that are on Android that you can't get on Windows, right? That aren't on the web, aren't native on Windows. Of course there are. There are probably millions of them. But
Instagram.
Well, there is an Instagram
I have
app
Instagram.
on Windows 10, but it's but it's garbage. I don't think you can.
It's not great.
I don't think you can even post with it.
I just use. You know what? I don't even use apps. I use the browser to just.
That's exactly.
Sites, right?
That's exactly my point.
PWAs would be
but
so
everyone
much
will
better.
come up with that one thing, right?
I know.
The Philips Hue app is not on Windows.
Right. I know.
Yeah. Okay. But
I know.
you're sitting there using a computer. Where's your phone? Is it right next to you? Why do you really? You got to update. You got to have things everywhere.
I don't want to pick the phone up. I got my
So-
hand
I mean,
on
it's
the
just.
keyboard.
I just don't. I don't
Okay,
know.
now that you're saying this, what if the reason or somehow the background of why they're doing this has to do with the Duo, which is an Android device, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're thinking if they put the Android apps in the store and you're using the Duo, you wouldn't have to use the Google Play Store. I don't know.
Ew.
Because they'd have to still license the Play Store as an Android OEM, right?
I don't.
I don't know. I'm just
I
trying
don't
to figure
think
out
the world
why.
needs another Android store that's not made by Google at this point.
I agree.
really don't.
No, look at Amazon couldn't make that work, right?
Right.
So
I mean Amazon has one, but it's
failure.
still garbage. I mean, of course it's garbage.
Right.
All of all the best tips about Amazon's devices are how you can sideload stuff that's not available in the Amazon store. You know.
Right.
I don't.
I don't know.
And again,
I'm still confused by the tip, but I'm not saying I don't think it'll happen because Zach Bowden has a good track record, and there must be some reason.
No, I'm not
this
right.
is up
I think they are working on this. I
but
think
why is the question?
Why is the question? I look at it like, it's a checklist item on a bullet, the bullet point item on a slide. It's something our competitors are doing. So both of the major desktop competitors. Well, not Linux, I guess, but Chrome OS and Mac both allow this kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's causing questions. Why? Maybe some customers are asking Microsoft, how come I can't do this? Mm. I don't know, but it seems like a lot of work for very little payoff. And it's a lot like the M1 stuff in the Windows world, but it's really cool. Yeah, I guess it is really cool. But what problem does this really solve? Like, what's the...
Maybe it's a Chromebook compete thing. Does it have to do with that?
This might make more sense, by the way, on Windows 10X.
It might.
Where it's going to be on these mobile devices, inexpensive.
Maybe.
Chromebook compete, like you said.
That's kind of intriguing. Right. I mean, the one thing you could say for it, the problem really with iOS apps on Macintosh is there's no touch on the Macintosh. Yeah. So it really is a bad experience. At least you've got touch on most Windows devices.
App makers can probably do things to their apps for the Mac.
That make
them work better.
That's that catalyst layer.
And so a lot of them probably haven't yet or whatever, and maybe that changes.
Eventually they will. But these are apps that are unmodified that just run.
Yeah, so they just kind of work. And yeah.
And some of them work better than others, but missing touch is, you can use a trackpad sort of, but it's not really a good experience.
This is one of many things where you're going to get the best experience when it comes from the platform maker, right? And so I always think of this with Samsung DeX. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
This needs to be a feature in Android, right? This shouldn't be coming from a third party.
All right, here's a weirdo. Here's a weird.
And Android apps supported Windows, it's like...
Let me throw you a curve. Because it is possible to do this without Google's help if you did it with Amazon. Remember, Amazon Fire is Android, And Amazon has its own store. You could put the Google Play Store on there, but you have to jump through hoops. Really, it's an Amazon experience. And all the services are provided by Amazon.
I know, but why would you do this on Windows, though? Yeah. You know, I mean, are we comfortable in the fact that here we are, like, 40 years-ish into the Windows, 35 years into Windows? It is what it is, right? It is a desktop product. Like, we adapted it for touch and pens and stuff. We have all these great apps. The web is exploding. I would say with web apps that in many ways eclipse what's possible.
That's clearly the future.
Not what's possible. Eclipse, or it match what's possible on a native app.
Yeah.
I'll be talking about some of that stuff in the app pick later. But I feel like if you're going to, we have all these ways we can get apps on Windows now. It seems like the way forward really is not a rival mobile platform. It's the web.
Yeah.
And I know it's not every single app. I get that. Like, I'll always hear from people, but I use this one app. I'd love to have this on Windows. Like, okay, but like, is it really life-changing? Is it really that important?
I know.
I feel like for what Windows is, for the purposes we use Windows, the reason that Mary Jo needed a laptop is not to run Instagram. It's not to run Philips Hue. It's not, it's Word, Notepad, Microsoft Edge, the full version,
Yeah.
Like, I feel like are we really
I just
suffering?
can't do work on my phone. It's too small. Like the kind of work I do.
Yeah, of course.
And you don't need Android apps on your desktop. Come on.
I don't.
No,
I don't
think so.
No one does. All right.
So it's just one of those.
It's a rumor.
weird
It's not a
things we're
credible
pondering.
rumor. Yeah, I don't think it's a credible rumor.
You don't?
Well, I mean, I do think they're working on it. But like so many things, I'm just questioning.
There's pieces missing from this.
I know.
the
I think
stuff
it
we
has
don't
to be
know.
your phone. It has to be connected to your phone. That's my guess because your phone is so enmeshed with the Android ecosystem. I'm like, it's got to be related to that.
And then it all runs off of your Android device. And
It does.
Yeah, it's just a window onto your Android device, and it's
is.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they really should
So
make
maybe this
your
is a
phone.
way to make that actually work
Yeah,
properly.
they really
where
should make
today
it
doesn't.
work. Yeah.
So you've solved the Google Play Store problem because it's on your phone.
It's on your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense. I don't know.
It does. We'll see.
Or you could just get a Galaxy Fold.
Yeah.
And then everything you need is
Well, it's
right
too bad
here.
like Android tablets haven't taken off or
jeez.
even Chromebook, 2-in-1s, because if that stuff just worked,
I know.
if Android
Right.
apps were so great we needed them all day long every day, we could use them on a computer, but we don't have that. Those things exist. Nobody buys them.
Yeah.
I know.